When she looks at you, you can see she's working things out. That's why we have to feed them like this.
You guys, welcome back to Number 6 with Cheese. Today, a guest episode, an author, an awesome dude, Matt Pais, on the show. We asked him where he wanted to go. Dave's Hot Chicken, popular, founded in California in a parking lot, blowing up everywhere. Pump for it.
Also, guys, we got a new sweatshirt for sale. If you guys want to snag it and you're a Patreon member, you should do that. Just go to patreon.com/Number 6 with Cheese. We'll get you a little hookup post to show you how to snag that bad boy. So let's go meet up with this dude,
Let's do it. We got 3 different things from Dave's Hot Chicken. Matt in the back seat, finally on Number 6 with Cheese. In that bag, all the food acquired jump cut.
And the inevitability of its influence on each of our lives.
All right, the food first, then we'll get into the guest. It sounded weird. Get into the guest?
Get
Who talks
into
like
him.
Corey Wagner, second angle.
All right, here we go. We got a couple of the sliders. They got this nice little bun, still connected, and then also fried up the bun a little bit. Then we've got our chicken. It looks like kind of a Nashville-like chicken. I got the medium sauce. That's what it looks like. Underneath, we've got pickles and coleslaw, and that's basically all she wrote, ladies and gents.
And then Matt, what did you get today?
I got a combo. I feel like I way over-ordered, so...
That's applauded here at Number 6 with Cheese.
That's America for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
2 sizable sandwiches. They call them sliders, but that's debatable. One is the medium spicy. The other was the hot. I think this is the medium. I think this is the hot, but I guess we'll find out.
Your mouth will let you know.
Yeah, absolutely. They season those fries a little bit too. Where do you kind of fall on the crinkle cut fries in the range of fries? Like, we're pretty low on crinkle cut.
Yes, I'd say.
I think it's a good example of something that sounds better than it actually turns out to be.
See, this is why we got Matt today. Just to agree with us. That's it.
Yeah.
I just only want to talk to people that feel the same way I do about everything.
You love crinkle? Get the hell out.
Yeah, you're gone.
I don't want to look at it. I just want to eat it.
An established author in the back seat. Dave's Hot Chicken, first time on the channel. Boys, cheers.
Cheers.
Always got to touch your sandwiches. Great to have you.
So happy to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh my god, bro. This is really good.
The chicken is just so great. Like
It's flavorful, it's moist.
Crispy.
Are these thighs? These have got to be breast. It doesn't look
It looks like
turkey.
white meat, so it must be a breast, but man, it eats like a thigh.
It does.
If it will.
I'm usually big, like, pull the pickles off, but I actually, on something like this, I like the pickles.
I know certain sandwiches, I'm like, you know what? The pickle is really a perfect accent to everything in this. So Matt, where do you kind of like, what spice level? You got a couple different spice levels, right? Like you said?
I got 1 medium, and I felt like I need to get at least 1 hot, so I did that.
Yeah.
And I think the one I tried so far is the hot one.
You're like, it better be.
Yeah, we'll see.
But it was on like an 8-second delay, which I kind of like.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it like kind of
Surprised.
seeps in, yeah, a little
Had me
bit.
doubting myself at first. I said, oh, this must be the medium. But then it seems like it was disagreeing with me eventually.
Nashville hot seasoning kind of does that. It's a creeper.
Creeper, it's like concussions. You don't think it's that bad, and then CTE hits you down the road.
Jesus.
It's so weird they don't use that in the marketing.
Yeah, there's all this, a lot of store space. Look at all the stuff on the walls. They could say that.
But by the way, beautiful interior.
Yeah, it's like just very well done in there. They also had extra hot, and then they had Reaper, which I didn't want to ruin my day, so I didn't get the Reaper. I just said hot.
Also, this was in the bag.
Ooh, that's great, Brandon.
Dave's sauce.
It almost kind of looks like the same color as that cane sauce at Raising Cane's.
It does. I don't really know what it's all about, but
Yeah.
do you want to? Anybody want to try any of this?
I kind of do. It's like I was wondering if they like drizzled any of that on there at all already, or if that was extra.
I didn't know. Yeah, what?
How it kind of was. I definitely am down to try it. I feel like you're gonna put your name on it and call it Dave sauce. Dave sauce. It's gonna be good. Also, I am notoriously one of the worst openers of packages.
tough.
I'm so bad at this. I always like.
Hey, don't be hard on yourself.
No, I will. I'll continue to self-deprecate until I die.
I think the problem is that some packages are clearly more difficult than they need to be. Like the way they package toys.
Yeah.
In that insane plastic.
Yeah.
You need 4 pairs of scissors. It's not possible to open those.
I have a package for you.
Sounds broken.
Most likely, sir.
We should talk about the book, huh?
I think we should absolutely talk about the book. Matt Pais, a 3-time book author now. This one, Talk 90s with me. One of Matt's great qualities, other than being a fantastic writer, is the fact that man can he report / I don't know, interview, whatever you want to say. I had the pleasure of filming so many of Matt's interviews for years when we worked at Red Eye Chicago, which is kind of like the Chicago Tribune's kind of millennial focused newspaper. And we went to so many video shoots together, talked to so many different types of people, you know, actors, musicians, authors, you name it. And Matt was like an entertainment reporter, like movies and music. And so now he's writing books now that since you've left the Tribune. This is the 3rd one, and it's a lot of great conversations with people from like pop culture in the 90s. Right?
So cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's like built for me too.
It's so you. And he gave us each a hard copy, which is fantastic.
Love it.
Yeah, Matt, talk about this book specifically. Like, your last one was all about Saved by the Bell.
It was.
Fantastic. This one all about 90s. Like, what kind of spawned all this?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you guys for having me, and thank you so much for your kind words, Sean.
You know it, man.
Working with you was phenomenal. We just made such a good team.
Yeah.
I think stuff like that can go really easily and really well, or just sort of not be a fit, and it was, I mean, the clicking was phenomenal. It's awesome to be back here with you.
Thanks, man.
Filming
I love
something else, being on the other side of it. I loved writing a book about Saved by the Bell. It is completely ridiculous to do a statistical analysis of the entire show, but I did.
How many times Zack Morris lied?
I saw it. Zack Morris lied 329 times.
Yeah, isn't that so
That's the
great?
name of the book.
Such a great name. That's also like such a clickbaity title of a thing. Like, I love that.
Fantastic.
And I thought it would just be cool. I was curious if I just tried to reach out more broadly to a bunch of people from the 90s, because I interviewed 20-some people from Saved by the Bell for that other book.
Yeah.
I thought, let's get broader. Let's just reach out to a bunch and see who will be into it.
Right.
And of course, a bunch said no. But 23 said yes.
Their loss,
was
man.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I always admire you too, because you came to work. Like, you're a blast to be around, because like you balance it really well, but you just got so much done in a day. I was always very impressed by that. And you did the like filming stuff on camera, but then you would write. I mean, your movie reviews would also be like featured in like the top, like on Rotten Tomatoes. His would be one of the first like 15 on there.
How cool is that?
It's so cool. Like, just the amount of stuff you did was wild to me.
Thanks, man. I think, to be perfectly honest, it was just, I was so thankful to be there. I loved doing it. I wasn't just gonna be like, well, it's 4:58. I think I'm just gonna see you guys tomorrow.
Right.
Not phone it in when you actually love it.
Right.
That's the great thing about loving your gig.
It was probably closer to 4:58 a.m. I would say when I stopped working
Yeah.
a lot of times, which
Nature of the beast, man.
oh yeah.
Put in the hours.
But it was an unbelievable privilege to review 2,000 movies, interview
that's
hundreds
so
of people,
crazy.
and the degree to which it was working a muscle too.
Yeah.
I think I only really recognized maybe after being out of it for a little bit too, to just see like, wow, I can crank stuff out. I've worked this to the point of where
Put your
that's just how
10,000
my
hours
mind
in.
works
basically,
now,
yeah.
and that's only something you learn by doing. If you can't look back at the first few years that you did something and say, well, I did my best, but that is terrible compared to what I'm doing now,
Right.
Then I don't think you're pushing yourself enough.
Does this book have a lot to do with 90s movies? Or is it more broad than that? I only have to. I'm a major movie buff too. My two loves in life are basically movies and books.
Yes.
Well, I think you might be a fan of this book. Maybe. Maybe.
If not.
And I also read a lot of like interview, like compilations of interview books, like Funny People.
Yeah.
Which was Judd Apatow's book.
It's totally in line with that, very much so.
Sweet.
I think trying to gain a new perspective on the material, the people involved, and even my own relationship with it too, because obviously so much has changed since the 90s. What gets made, how like your adult brain even processes that stuff. So I wanted to celebrate all of these things, but also, I mean, Sean, as you know, in the best / nerdiest possible way, I love the research involved in interviewing. There's really no point in doing it if you're just gonna show up and be just like, did you like making Jurassic Park?
You always would research too to make sure you're asking questions that other people hadn't asked. Like, you were very meticulous about that, which obviously an artist, a creative, somebody who's being interviewed loves that. They're already doing a press tour, and it's, you want to stand out. So I feel like how Sean Evans on Hot Ones always gets the like, oh man, you totally like, how'd you know that?
Deep
like
ones.
That would happen to Matt when I would be behind the camera, like filming him talking to whoever all the time, and I always like was like, that's so incredible how much work you put into the research.
If you had a huge room that you could design however you wanted,
That's a great question.
the floor could be a trampoline in one area, you could have a McDonald's. Basically, it's your own personal, like, you know the movies Blank Check and Richie Rich?
My favorite movie ever.
To me, that's like the first, like, mandatory. The goal isn't to blow someone's mind. The goal is to think about something in a new way and bring something new to the table. So if it turns out that someone says, oh, I've never thought about it that way before, or no one's ever asked me that, then you certainly know that you're tapping into something uncovered before. And it's not like that stuff happens on its own by going back to some of these movies and these shows and thinking about them in ways that I never had before.
Right.
It led to discoveries for myself that I like put two things together that I hadn't before, or even learned things about the people that made me think about the material differently too.
Yeah.
Two movies that couldn't be farther apart that I'm obsessed with, that I just see people that were involved with those movies are on here. I am obsessed with Major Payne.
He just kept chugging along. Chicka, 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 chicka.
It's one of my favorite comedies of all time. And also The Graduate. And there couldn't be two more different movies, I feel like.
Yeah.
Would you mind telling me then what those 4 years of college were for? What was the point of all that hard work?
You got me.
But I love that. That's so amazing.
And I interviewed the one person who was in both.
Oh, wait.
No, I didn't.
Oh my God. I was like, hold on a second.
My mind just blew.
I mean, Karen Parsons is such a good example of someone that Fresh Prince was so huge and Hillary Banks was such a good character. You'd think she would have gotten so many more opportunities. She did not. And with all due respect to Major Payne, I mean, she was thankful for that, but excuse me 1 second as I wash down spicy chicken.
Did you find the hot?
It's part of the process.
If there's one thing I didn't do a lot of when we worked together before, Sean, it was eat on camera.
You did.
That seems to take practice.
Almost never.
Even taking shots of Malort with Joe Swanberg, I felt slightly self-conscious.
That's the most Chicago thing I feel like you could do.
I haven't had Malort in probably 2 years. So here we go. Cheers. Cheers. Really get that gasoline flavor. Yeah, it just keeps working too.
Before I say anything, actually, Corey, why do you love Major Payne?
I just love the comedy of it. I also, it's the sentimentality. It's a movie when I watched when I was probably 10. So it just stuck in. It's on my, there's like the 5 comedy movies that made me want to go into comedy probably. It's like Tommy Boy, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Major Payne's on there, and then Dirty Work.
You think that's funny?
Oh, no, I was just laughing earlier when you were talking to his belly.
You get a horse and live in the mountains someplace and don't bother anybody.
All right, and that's my little, like, I want to write movies. That's what probably made me want to be a comedy writer.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so cool.
Top 5 list of movies that I laughed the hardest in the theater. Dirty Work is on there.
Dirty Work. You saw that in the theater? That's such an underrated movie. A lot of people didn't catch that at all, let alone in the theaters.
Absolutely.
The movie's so great.
But your list is such a great example of what was happening in the 90s.
Oh,
and
yeah.
what isn't happening now. And obviously, I don't need to tell you guys that there's certainly plenty of comedy being made, but those like comedy movies barely exist anymore in the way that we grew up with.
Yep, right.
And that's such a shame.
They're about to come back. I always feel like there's waves. I feel like they died for a while after the 90s, and then there was a long period where there was comedies, but not really that great. And then there was the big Adam McKay, Will Ferrell, and Judd Apatow comeback where all of a sudden Anchorman and Blades of Glory and then 40-Year-Old Virgin and all the Apatow movies were coming through. And then they all died for a while. And I have a gut feeling within the next 5 years we're gonna see another wave of comedy movies.
I hope so. I'd love that.
That'd be cool.
That's my armchair.
I wonder who will be starring in them.
Yeah, probably me and Sean.
We'll get that call.
Not for 5 years though. It's gonna take 5 more years.
Right. Well, it's a long shooting process.
It's a long. We're in the long play.
It's gonna be that one, the 5-year shooting process.
Yeah.
It'll come out in 20. Let me do the math real quick. 2027.
Yeah.
Pre-production starts tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm free.
Yeah.
I love that you look at the back of the book and the two that stand out are The Graduate and Major Payne, which the subject for The Graduate being William Daniels, aka Mr. Feeney, of course.
Yeah. Maybe the world's greatest actor of all time.
Some would say.
Some would say.
That was one that I did not think would say yes. But
I'm so glad he did.
His publicist responded pretty fast. It was like, sure. He's in his mid-90s now.
Oh my gosh, that's unbelievable.
That is nuts.
It was a pretty awesome variety just to reach out to a bunch of people and see who was into it. And it wound up turning into this collection in a lot of ways of a lot of people who are underrated and contributed to films that were like cult favorites and maybe weren't a hit at the time but seemed like a big deal. I mean, look at Luke Edwards, Little Big League and Newsies.
Yeah.
Awesome movies that mean a lot to people, but they didn't make a lot of money, but who cares?
Right.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I feel like cult movies are always my favorite movies.
Oh yes, absolutely. People that also like that movie, there's like a bond. Like that's what movies will do to people.
Yep.
You have an instant connection with somebody just because you're like quoting the same movie.
Yeah,
I like love that.
exactly.
I love that. And a huge part of Number 6 with Cheese with the cut-in clips and stuff like that and how we edit. I mean, it like also plays a lot to like the way Matt writes. So it's like it's kind of fun. It really syncs up with a lot of the 90s stuff makes it into Number 6 with Cheese videos. Is what I'm saying.
Hell yeah.
And it's like people just are like, I love this video because you used that clip.
Yep.
Like I love that stuff.
Yep.
That's so badass.
The first book was 100 pieces of short fiction. The second was the ridiculous Saved by the Bell one, and then now this one. I love giving myself challenges and just seeing kind of what I'm capable of and the way that something could play out. And you never know until you try.
Yeah,
that's right.
Fantastic. It's also very motivating. Like you're doing all this like on the side too, because you also have a job. So it's like very exciting to see like someone grind like that.
I'm very lucky that I got to do my dream job for 11 years, long enough to be ready to do something else.
Yeah.
And have sort of a more balanced life, I would say, not be working around the clock. Be able to invest in family in a different way, but then still do some really fun entertainment related things on the side.
And get to be on Number 6 with Cheese. Everyone's dream.
When I mapped it all out, this was sort of like the pot of gold.
Yeah,
of course.
I don't know what's coming tomorrow now.
Oh, Matt, we hear that a lot, so that's good to hear from you as well.
Yeah.
Well, this is the part of the show where we get real fun. We get to rate the food. We got our whiteboards here. We rate out of 5 on the show. You can go down to whatever decimal point you want.
What's our price point?
You have the
expensive.
receipt.
Yeah,
That's
let me
great.
take a look.
So Corey and I got just a sandwich, and then Matt got a combo. But yeah, I didn't even look at prices. I'm like a rich person all of a sudden. I'm not even looking at prices, dude.
I'll pay anything.
Just take my card.
So a single slider is $6.69, which they say slider, it's more of a...
Okay, $6.69, single slider, and then Matt's combo was...
The combo is $13.99. It's 2 sandwiches, a soda, and fries.
Okay.
It's a lot of food.
It's a lot of food.
Nowhere near done.
They're
And have no intention of even trying.
they're really loose with the term slider.
Yeah, that's the wrong. They shouldn't say that.
Do they think that just means sandwich?
Do they want people to overorder?
Or is it like specific on the style of bun?
I mean, that's like one of those Martin's potato rolls. Like, that's not a slider.
It's not a slider.
They don't market that anywhere as a slider. That's why America's fat. They're calling that a slider? I got a bag of sliders.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, did you?
Right.
All right, we're gonna rate this, but first, make sure you go buy Matt's book. The link is below. Every place you want to follow him, social handles and stuff, linked below this video. But go buy the book, digital versions, also hard copies. Amazon makes it very easy to do books.
Yeah.
Well, how they were founded. So
right.
make sure to do that. And let's kind of roll into the food here. Corey, what did you think of everything?
Yeah, so flavor was unbelievable. The quality of the meat was super good. I don't think the price was super bad. It was $6.99. A touch high, only because like Popeyes has now changed the price point.
I know.
For chicken
and this
sandwiches.
is kind of a chain now.
This is essentially a chain. But all in all, like I think the quality is a little bit better here than at like say a Popeyes. The spices and the flavoring was all really good.
Yep.
So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it.
I compare this a lot to like the Shake Shack price point.
Yes.
And this is cheaper, and I want to say that's more ounces, like more food than a chicken sandwich at Shake Shack, and I think it's better. I am actually really impressed by this place and the fact that this is like started in a parking lot in California and now is like a chain like this, and I think they're doing a great job with the expansion.
Yeah.
So I'm overall very impressed.
Yep.
Matt, what's your breakdown?
There's a lot of flavor here. This doesn't feel, it's easy to stereotype chains or the type of thing that you're going to get from just an average chicken sandwich, but this is not only so much food. I mean, as someone who very much is interested in quantity and quality at the same time, which is not easy to do. I would say that they pulled it off. Fries, I could take it or leave it, but that's not
Crinkle cuts.
Yeah. It always circles back to the crinkle cuts.
Always comes back to crinkles.
But if you come to Dave's Hot Chicken because you're excited about the fries, that you must.
yeah, very good point. Yes. All right, so let's rate now.
All right.
I feel very good about my score.
You still doing Jeopardy music?
Oh, absolutely.
Ooh.
Why don't you mind you're just like you in high school, dude. Always cheating and looking over at other people's work and then skating by. You know what? Why don't you grow up and do your own thing?
Wow, that's an incredible score.
I know. I'm very impressed. I also don't even try to look at yours because I don't care. I don't care what you think. I don't care about your score, your opinions on anything.
I desperately need to know yours.
If they ever don't make the Jeopardy song like royalty free, we're screwed. It's playing for minutes on end. Oh my god. All right, has everybody got their score? All right, on the count of 3, we're gonna reveal our boards to y'all. 1, 2, 3, bang. 4, 3, 3, 9, 4 to 5. Damn, so we're all so close.
No one told me we could do decimal points.
Wait, roll the tape where I did say you can go down to whatever decimal point you wanted.
You can go down to whatever decimal point you want.
Ooh, I did say it, but like most people in my life, they don't listen to me.
This is
I did miss that then.
It's
I was
okay.
too busy
It's okay.
sweating in the back seat.
I know. Yeah, I know. I was like gonna ask you guys if you wanted to roll the windows down, but I wanted to just sit in it.
This is our new shtick where we invite guests on and then kind of belittle them a little bit.
Yeah,
while we put them
of
through
course.
A sauna.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like a little bit of a heat.
That's how. Yeah, it's literally like Hot Ones does the chicken. We did a little bit of chicken, but it's more of just sitting in a hot car with two dudes that are just like breathing.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. The windows have never been more up.
Very fogged
Well, that
up.
one can't go down because of the GoPro. Too bad, Matt. You gotta sit in it with us. All you guys want the windows down. You want to get fancy.
Oh, wow, what a reprieve.
All right, so before we get out of here, like, subscribe to the channel, but for the comment here today, what is your favorite 90s pop culture thing? Whether it's a movie, music, a specific song, a book, I don't care. What comes to mind as your #1 thing in the 90s?
Ooh,
I'm gonna
I love
comment
that
mine.
question.
I'm gonna comment mine. If Matt ends up seeing the video online, I don't know if he'll watch it. He could comment, and we'll chat with you guys in the comments here today. But thank you to Matt for being here.
Yes, thank you so
This
much.
is a long time
That's so
coming.
awesome.
I haven't seen Matt in so long, so this was also selfishly like really fun for me.
Yeah.
On that front. But go buy the book. It's fantastic, and you'll support a creator, you'll support an author, and you'll support a damn good person. So talk 90s with me, and guys, we'll see you tomorrow for a brand new video. Thanks for being here, Matt.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.